we are in the public hearing for the tax budget for the city of Forest Park. Just for everyone's education, the tax budget is required by Ohio Revised Code for every taxing jurisdiction within Hamilton County. You have to present an operational budget for the funds that are levying property tax, which are our general fund and our fire levy fund. So in this budget, it is your first shot at 2023. You analyze the inflows and the outflows to get your first estimate on whether or not you're going to be structurally balanced or not. Unfortunately, the general fund for 2023 is showing a shortfall of 1.166 million, which is our normal position. Ever since the pandemic, we've been kind of running short between $1 million and $1.2 million, and 2023 is no different. It is still showing a budget shortfall of in excess of $1.1 million. It's the problem with this particular situation is we have no stimulus payment to help offset it. So this will be the first year that we don't have about $1 million in stimulus coming in to help offset that. So we will have to figure out how to balance out the general fund. For the fire levy fund, that deficit is a little under $110,000. It's $107,264. We do have enough cash reserves built up in the general fund and in the fire levy fund to be structurally balanced, but that is generally not how we would like to do it. So we will have to look at cutting some expenditures, as we've had in the past, see how much we can shave off of the $1.1 million by reducing our expenditure load. The problem that we have is that our collective bargaining units are pretty much set, and they are showing higher than in the past increases. So I think my smallest one is 3%, where in the past we have been doing 2%, sometimes 1% if we needed to. So a lot of those bargaining units are set, so at least for fire department, it's set. So that is a portion of why it is out of balance, is because we are fully staffed now and providing them with increases. So we will have to figure out some other ways to stretch a dollar. And that's going to take talking to all the department heads, telling them what our shortfalls are, and we'll develop strategies to reduce that gap. But the budget that's being presented to you has to be passed by July 15th, according to law. And we have to submit it to Hamilton County by July 20th. So we're presenting it to you now well ahead of the deadlines that are set by law. This is your first glimpse at the property taxes that need to be levied going forward so that we have enough money to operate both the general fund and fire levy fund. And I am available if you have any questions.
Primary purpose of this bond or this tax budget is to create the certificate of estimated resources. That's the main reason. It sets
yes.
our property tax numbers.
Yes.
So our ability to collect our property taxes is correct. This is the first step in the process. So really this is a revenue type budget.
Yes.
More so than anything.
And it is designed to show need.
Yes.
So
designed to show the need for their property taxes.
So if you had $4 or $5 million excess, they're going to tell me you don't need to levy property tax. So we know we need to levy that property tax, because without that, our shortfall would even be larger. So we need that at least to get a good running start on how we're going to trim some of this stuff out of here. So, and a couple of capital projects could probably do it, but we can't. We've had these discussions. We can't keep kicking that can down the road. So yes, we are doing some new innovative things with our developments and our incentives. So we'll just have to be very careful and skillful how we're doing that. We attract the right people in here, we can increase our economic base, and we'll see how the remote work impacts us, because I still have no measurements on that. So, yes.
I'm just going to ask in that area what you just spoke on. So
Yes.
has not been any official information or notification of how the percentage of taxes of residents that doing remote tax work?
I would know better by the end of this year, because 2021 is the first time you're allowed to request the refund. We didn't have an excessive amount of them, but all of the advertisement that you can now get those is starting to be released. So people are going to start to demand refunds for work from home. We are also starting to hear from employers that the W-2 counts that we had of past are not good measurements for forecasting going forward. So we've already talked to our biggest employers, and Emeritus being our biggest, and they've already said with our incentive agreement they're not going to meet those markers, and they need to sit down and talk with us, because they have to offer remote work as an option to attract people into just getting a job. So, yeah, I don't want to stop people from getting a job, but hopefully you'll hire Forest Park people, so at least it'll stay home with us. So that's what I can say we can try to do, but I'm not sure where our employers sit right now in trying to attract people to come out of their houses now and come back to work. So I know that's a challenge.
Okay, so the the projected budget for shortfall for 2023 is 1.166 million.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the general fund and
Yes.
fire levy fund, are there
Yes.
any other special funds like fire levy fund? Or these are just, I mean, this is just the only one?
Well, these are the two where property taxes are primarily used to fund those particular operations. We have other funds that are basically, we use them as grant funds or capital funds. Those are direct pools on the general fund. So generally, when I look at those, I look at the capital and the debt in relationship to the general fund. They're all like a package deal. So the general fund collects all that money, and then everybody else kind of pulls from them. So I will have to now go back in and look and see what major improvements were we trying to do that need to be taken out. Some of it is going to be because we've already completed it, because we got stimulus money. There were a lot of building improvements that we had planned to do in the out years that, because of the pandemic, got escalated to 2020 and 2021, that now as our capital improvement rolls out, we can say, oh, we already did this, and we already did this. And we did a lot of our HVAC boiler and heating replacements because we were trying to purify the air. So we still have to go in and extract those projects out. So we didn't do like a lot of the architecture. This was like a main swath look. So we took last year's plan, or what was in there, cut out this year, didn't look at it a whole lot. I was more concerned with all the inflows in and the main salary outflows out, because that's going to be the lion's share of my budget anyway. And then after that, it's to show need that we need to assess the tax, which we do. We need our property tax. We need the money.
So now, if we're cutting expenditures, are we gonna do it by department, like commensurately, like an even amount, or is you just gonna like think about as you get information from every
That's
department?
my phone acting up. I'm sorry.
Right, as you get information from every department head, they provide a budget saying like, okay, we estimate that we can operate off of this amount, or you just say like, we just gonna cut across the board everybody this percent.
Across the board cuts don't work. With this glimpse into the budget, what will happen is when I roll budgets out to the department heads, I will tell them I'm looking to take out 6-7%. Offer up what you can offer up. Because me just going in and architecturally taking out 4% out of everybody's budget, that does not work. Because as you, a council can tell, Sally works with a very lean budget. So taking 4% out of her budget isn't like taking 4% out of the police department's budget. But you seven will feel every dollar I take out of that particular budget. Whereas they can kind of spread it a little bit more. So it's more of learning an art rather than a science to it. It's an art of who's got the ability to absorb the punch. I kind of know where those departments live at. They will have harder budget hearings. Everybody else will kind of roll with the tide because they're either one-man operations, they're lean, they don't have a lot of excess meat on them to cut off. So, yes, I have a lot of one-person departments.
Look at zero-based budgeting based.
Yes.
We're looking at programs. What programs are out there? Where do they? What effect do they have? Is there a better way to do it? Is there grant funding? Maybe there's a better way to provide more revenue. But also, is that program something that we'll get down to the end, or that might be an elimination of something? A program that we've done
Correct.
in the past that we just don't do it.
Or it might be a relook on
Once we go
fees.
through all that, that'll be part of the budget hearings, as Arlena said, but each department head will have to prove the need for their cost-benefit analysis on what they're providing and what it costs and the benefit to the community, and we'll evaluate all of that, make recommendations back to the city council.
And we are looking at fee structures. So that's one of my first things is to look and see when's the last time I increased some of the fees. So that's not off the table either. So
With regards to some of the development projects, have we already estimated the amount that we are anticipating with the sale of the land that we own for this year? Are we going to project that for next year?
if council remembers, what we did was when we issued our debt this particular year, we made a portion of it taxable and a portion of it non-taxable. The reason that we did that is because we anticipated the sale of the land. So if we sell the land, there is automatically debt attached to it that I will have to pay that off. And you cannot use that for anything else but that. And it does cover the outstanding debt that's out there. There might be some excess left over. Typically what we do is we look to pay off other debts so I can get our outstanding debt capacity down. So right now we have no debt, which is why everybody's kind of running at us because we have no bonds out there. We only have notes. We've paid off all our bonds. So.
Anybody have any other questions? Finance director?
But in an area of some of the past capital expenditures, there's still, say, for example, a percentage, 10, 15 of those capital budget items that you say, you see a percentage of this debt money coming down, but you just haven't detailed all of those line items.
Correct. We have changed some processes, like just for an example, we switched our capital purchasing of vehicles. We switched from doing them internally as like a citywide leasing thing to where we contract with enterprise. Well, that's going to have some cost savings, but I still have the vehicles from the future that we wanted to get because I need them there so that I have a guide to tell enterprise what to do. So there are high dollar costs in there. We won't spend that amount of money, but and when we reprogram that, there are savings involved in there that we will take advantage of. Is it $1 million worth? Probably not. Probably not. But it's a little bit of room. It's a couple 100,000 in there, but not in the millions.
Yes, it's a big number too as well,
Yes.
compared to last year's budget. Yes,
Yes.
it's going to be a big number, that's in this budget that, honestly, I don't think anybody saw, these increases coming.
Yeah.
As a percentage of, over the year after year. So, we use a lot of gas. We have the
Yeah.
police department, fire department,
Yes.
use a lot of gas. And,
It's gonna be a problem.
it's a big budget number. It's not a huge number, again, it's not millions of dollars or anything, but it's something that, when we throw out there, it's something that we have to take into account that wasn't in there last year.
Correct.
We can switch to foot patrols, is what you're saying.
Well, maybe get a bunch of horses.
I say segways.
Hey,
Bicycles.
with
Segways.
regard to that, this would be much more like later in the future. Is there any plan to phase out some of our older vehicles and then switch to something like maybe a hybrid model or
We've
some type
been
of electric? Because there's federal funds available for that.
We've been trying to buy strictly electric vehicles, and we can't get our hands on them. And we're trying to, the ones we want. And then we're also looking at our next group of purchases, because we couldn't get them.
Electric vehicles for our community development department.
So we think that's the way, the patrol officers are a little different. The police cars, because wear and tear, and then just, the make that you have to get. I guess we could all use Teslas or whatever.
Tesla police car would be expensive.
You're right. But yes, we are looking to convert the non-police portion of our fleet to, as much as we can, to either hybrids or electric. We do have the 4 charging stations which we've installed out back, in anticipation of doing that for ourselves as well.
Anticipation of a couple more coming across.
Yeah, there'll be some hybrid, some fast chargers across the street at the Tesla facility, and we've tried to, get those Ford brand electric cars, electric Ford trucks. It just came
Ford
out.
Lightning.
Ford Lightning. So we tried to order them, and we're nowhere near being able to get them yet.
Yeah,
So.
people snatching them up quick.
Yeah, well,
Just,
yeah, and even the enterprise can't get them for us. I mean, that's the thing. They're just not available. And police cars, they're not available either. So it's hard to, we're ordering some out of
Lebanon.
Lebanon. They had 3 that, or 4
Yeah.
or 5 that they had excess.
Mm-hmm.
Dealer up there, so thank goodness, because we've had people hitting our police cars and totaling 2 of them. Not our accidents, people
Hit us. Yeah.
going in them or smashing them. That doesn't take much to make them, not worthy
Yeah.
of using in the future. So we've had some issues with those as well. So thank goodness we're able to find those cars.
All right.
Yes.
With this being the first of like the tax budget process, will there be? I mean, when is the next opportunity for us to take a look at everything?
Well, what happens from tax budget, I will immediately go into revenue forecasting. And I will start looking at fees and revenue forecasting because I'm trying to determine how much revenue, how much resources do I have to base the budget off of for real. So this was kind of a look at the 2 main revenue streams. So I predominantly, when I looked at this, you look at income tax and property tax. So I was looking to see, is income tax kind of stable? Is it going up? Is it going down? We're back at the 2019 level, which tells me that I need to turn back on all of the revenue collection instruments that we had turned off. We had kind of slowed down court a little bit, so I'm going to have to ramp court back up. We used to summons people into the office. Yes, I'm gonna start to do more of that. We started to prepare declared estimates and trying to force people to pay earlier rather than waiting the full 6-year period. And as now I have a spokesman on my behalf, Mr. Sylvester can tell you, people don't like it when you assess them their taxes or even tell them I estimated it for you because you won't tell me any information about whether or not you've been here, anything. So, yes, so we have been doing that and we are looking to take our collections window from 5 years down to 2 years. So that will be no more than 2 years behind on estimating stuff. You kind of have to, you're forced to be there because if you try to pursue it too early, they're trying to get it refunded. So you run up against that, do you owe me or do I owe you type, question. So, but it was a universal decision between staff, and I've talked to Don about it as well. Us waiting 5 years before we estimate whether or not a person owes us or not means that was 4 years you had an opportunity to collect, and then you waited to the 5th year to when they took off or they done with school, and yeah, and now here you go trying to collect it. So we're
My example in there. No.
It's not just you. It's not just you. There are a lot of. I didn't realize how many UC students we have in the apartments. We do. We have a lot of UC students in the apartments. So it's not in our benefit to wait that 4-year period. So yes. So I'm listening to people. So yeah. All them trees and stuff and leaves that whisper at me all the time. I hear it. I hear it. I hear it. So yes.
All right. Any other questions for the finance director? All right, thank you, Ms. Harlita.
Okay.
Okay. I guess we got a couple minutes before council. And was there any other item that we needed to discuss during the public hearing?
Yeah, I just want to piggyback on the legislation. Are they available for use for the public?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
What's the,
We've actually got revenue on them.
Yeah, they're for sale. They're relatively cheap compared to others. We've had cars parked there. I think they're teachers from the school.
okay, is it just a contact of calling or?
No, just go
There's an app.
pull up and, there's an app.
Oh, it's an app.
There's an app
All
that
right.
you download,
There's an app.
and
pay
then
right
you
on the app.
load your credit card onto the app.
All right.
And then you can plug the car in, pay on the app, and the app gives the electric company what they need, and they give us a portion.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
All right, that's,
Yeah, so we have a charging line for the electric charge itself, and then there's a fee through the app that
okay,
you pay to get the electricity.
all right.
Right. I was thinking the same thing.
So I would let her talk.
Was there anyone from the public who has any questions about anything that they've heard tonight or anything during the public hearing? All right, hearing none. I guess we can conclude it a little bit early, so then we can just wait until the council meeting. So we'll just adjourn the public hearing portion. City of Forest Park City Council meeting number 1399. Today is July 5th. Time is a little after 8 p.m. We're going to start by standing and saying the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. And on the agenda, will the clerk please call the roll?
Adams.
Present.
Brown.
Here.
Clark. Harrison.
Here.
Holt. Here. Moore. Here. Sylvester.
Here. All right. I need a motion to excuse Councilmember Clark.
Motion that we excuse Councilwoman Clark.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by the sound of voting aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion to excuse passes. Item number 2 is the minutes Has everyone received the minutes? Are there any corrections or adjustments to be made? All right. Hearing none. Item number 3 is presentations, and we do not have any presentations. Just really quick on that, Don, we do need to get another business of the month in here.
We've got one that we're going to recommend next week, or next month. Is a young lady who's at a physician's office
Okay.
who is just moving in, and we're recommending an economic development grant to her, and we're going to honor her with business of the month for
Okay.
opening her physician's office.
Okay. All right.
About the business of the month, was there any monetary money awarded to the last business of the month?
No, I'm trying to think who it was. I don't normally the
Fitness.
no, there's not any money. There's no money with business of the month, but there is if you apply for an economic development incentive grant, it just happens to be the same person. So there's no.
Okay,
no
that's
money
what I was
for
wondering
business.
about, because you kind of wrote it together, and I was just wondering.
Yeah, it's the same person, but I want to make sure we get in contact with her, make sure she can show up.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, there's no monetary.
I have to get their name out on the marquee. I don't think Next Level got their name out there on the marquee
Okay.
for the whole month. So
Okay.
making sure that,
I'll
we
make sure
be
they-
consistent with.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll check on that. Make sure they get out there.
All right. Well.
That's an oversight.
All right, well, moving on to item number 4. This is communications from the public. So this is the time for citizens to comment on matters before council or to ask questions of concern to them. When recognized, please come forward to the podium, give your name and address, and then state your comments or questions. Council meetings are tape recorded for ease of transcription. Comments are limited to 5 minutes. And I see there are a lot of members of Sydney's Saloon here. And just for the sake of brevity, because there are a few items that we got to get to, if everyone's going to discuss the same thing, if one person would want to just come up and speak, and then just please limit it to 5 minutes. But and is there a sign-in sheet?
Last meeting, and I asked if I could have permission to move across the street, and,
Can you speak into the?
yes, I'd be more than happy to. I was asked permission.
All the mics are so low.
After 25 years of being in the city, employing people, paying taxes, I asked if I could just simply move across the street because I'm being evicted from that place. I have till the end of the month, and Mr. Jones called me and said no, and I have no explanation. I just would like to know what in the world could I have possibly done that you would say no? I have a petition where my customers are signing, asking. I've got 115 of them on there. All I want to do, all the other places are coming in. Parks Places come in after you pass that. The Mexican place has a license. Cracker Barrel has a license. The Crab Cave, they all do. I've been here 45 years. And all I want to do is go across the street, make it bigger, where I can have more food and a different type of entertainment and change things up. And I can't even get an answer, so I'm here to find out why. When you came in, you got your fish dinner. Didn't everything seem to be okay?
It did. Everything did seem to be okay when I got my fish dinner, and it was a pleasant time there. I think I might have been there long enough to get my fish dinner, and maybe 10 minutes after. I don't know if I'm at liberty to speak on some of the recent incidents that have just occurred at Sydney's. I think there was recently a shooting, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not the law director. I don't want to say anything.
No, you're fine. That's what I want to know, because that had nothing to do with us. Those are people that came down from Hamilton, and they sat out in the parking lot and waited when our customers left. We didn't even know what happened. Am I right, Rita? You were working that night. We didn't even know what happened, and the police came over and knocked on the door, and we didn't even know it. They were outside waiting on them. Nothing happened. Everybody was even out of the bar. Am I right? By at 2:45, we were gone. They were doing their jobs. Nothing was wrong. The mayor came in, had a few drinks. I mean, I think it was that night, wasn't it, Rita? Wasn't that night? Yeah. I mean, it has nothing to do with me. I can't help. Like Chicago couldn't help. That guy ran up onto the roof. You can't. Ever since COVID, everybody has just been so different. And they still, people, I have such good customers, and they still need a place to go to, an outlet. They need that. We have security. We keep everybody under control. We don't serve you if you're drunk. That particular night that happened, there was No trouble. There's my manager right there. Rita, would you please stand up and verify what I'm saying?
Closed in, and according to the police, they said that the person who did it was waiting in the parking lot for one of our customers, and that person was never even in the court.
Over time, I'm sorry, Mayor Brown.
Ms. Rice, first of all, it's just, at this time, it's not the city's position that they're going to rescind, or that this body is going to rescind, that ordinance. However, we don't own the promenade, so you haven't applied for anything.
I called, and,
You have to, if you spoke with the owner of the promenade, then you
Yes.
have to go through, you go through that
I've
proper
done all
process.
that. I've done all
And
that.
once you go through that, I believe you'll still have to come before the planning commission.
That's what we did that. I did that. I talked to
Get a special
Chris.
exception, but I'm not certain that the planning exception would approve that, but you still have to, so you're still in the middle of the process right now then.
No, he told me he could not do anything until I spoke with you guys. And it was Chris Anderson, and he said, your best way if you want to get everybody together and talk to him is go to the city council meeting, and that was the night that I came. We want to change it up. We want to make it totally different. I want to get away from what, I'm being evicted by the end of this month, and I'm going to tell you, I told you my husband's died. All I live on is Social Security. If I can't move, or if I can't find another place, if I can't work, I lose my home. Because after I get my Social Security check, I pay my house payment, I have $600 to live on. Could any one of you live on 600? No, I can't. And I've been working.
Ms. Rice, can I ask you a question, please? Can you tell us about any efforts that have been made to hire security or anything?
We have security.
Any efforts made to hire security, like an off-duty police officer or anything like that?
To
on
my
the premise?
knowledge,
Have you made those efforts?
This is what happened. I had them at Debbie's. We had off duty. They stayed outside. They could never come in. But when I tried to call this time, before we even went with the in-house security, they said they weren't allowed to do it anymore. Now and the ones I got them through was through the sheriff's department. I'm not trying to be difficult or trouble. My back is to the wall. I have worked all of these years, all of these taxes, all of these people. I've been doing this 14 years before the mayor was even born.
No.
Does anybody else have any questions for Ms. Rice?
I mean, I am sorry that happened. You know I didn't want that. And that other incident that you're talking about, the little boy that was shot down the alley, that wasn't us. A 16-year-old girl lured him down the alley. She shot him and he ran and he fell right at our driveway. When our customer was leaving, she saw it, came in and told us, and we called it in. So we were all over the news, Sydney Saloon. And it wasn't us. It was a 16-year-old kid lured that man back there and shot him. It wasn't us. But we got blamed for it. It does, and that's not the way. You were in there. Did you, no. Music's a little too loud, but, but, no. But it doesn't. The girls, they're so good. They work so hard. They try so hard. 16 of us are going to be out of a job, and I lose my home. And that's not an exaggeration. That is the truth. I live on a Social Security check. You know how it goes. Your husband dies. I got his, lost mine. It's all I got. What am I going to do? I don't know how to use a computer. I can't even stand up.
Have you explored other opportunities? Have you talked with the city manager possibly about exploring other opportunities, maybe from turning it from a bar into a restaurant?
That's what I said when I was here.
That's what they initially came up here for, but
That's what we're trying. Remember I told you about the umbrellas I wanted to put outside, and then they can eat outside up until a certain time. I was hoping that I could get, reading them, they have the pictures on your phone. We used to do breakfast. I told you about that. It was fabulous. Those girls were in there at 6 o'clock in the morning cooking and making a beautiful breakfast. But there wasn't enough place to park. So I was making everybody else around me upset. So I dropped it. And then, then we do parties for somebody's birthday. We make it so special for you. This lady right here, it's her mother's 80th birthday, and she was going to rent the whole place out. We try so hard. I'm very hurt. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm very hurt, and I think you would be if she was on the other foot. You would be 45 years and give the money to the city and the people and the efforts. It took me 2 weekends to do a carnival to make that money to give them their first thermal imaging camera. I've got business of the month. I heard you say that. I've made business of the month. I'm sorry that I can't help what people, everybody's so mad because of COVID, because they're pandemic, they come out. We really monitor the people and we watch them. We have security, one that walks around the floor, one outside, one in, out front, one out back, and anything. The first little thing, you're snatched up and you're out. We don't want it, but things do happen. And that particular night, darling, we didn't know. We did not, we didn't even hear nothing. We didn't even know.
Well, Ms. Rice, like I said, since we don't own the promenade, at this time, like, it's not our position that we're going to rescind that ordinance. However, since we don't own the promenade, you can always still go through the proper channel of, applying for a lease with the owner of the promenade.
I did. I did do that, and her name was Kim, and she had said to me, I have to talk to Chris because she's not sure because of the city ordinance. So that's what I did. And then Chris told me, it was very nice to me, very helpful. He said, there is a city. I said, yeah, I do know about it. But I'm already here. I just want to go across the street. And he said, if you want to get everybody together, he was very helpful. Put everybody together, go to the city council meeting. And that's exactly what I did. And that's why then when I waited and waited and my time is running out, I mean, I don't have any more time left. Do I call 1-800-JUNK? Or do I try to move? But it is going to be different. I can tell you that. We're going to go back to the breakfasts, go back to the more food, and the entertainment is not going to be the jukebox kind of thing, honey. It's going to be, like I said, the rhythm and, the aid, that kind of stuff. We even put a sign up, we don't even let you in if you're under 35 because the kids don't know how to act.
I do have a question. Have you looked at any other properties besides Promenade?
There's nothing to go to. Mr. Jones told me I had to go north of 275, which Rita and I went out that right after he told us that. We went all over. The only place that's available, well, the only places that are empty is Steak and Shake, which
Right.
that can't happen. IHOP, which that's empty. Kmart, that won't work. No, it isn't. It's closed. They closed. They've been closed. Did it because they said it was closed. So anyway, all those, there is no place. There is, if there was, I wouldn't be here tonight. I wouldn't be bothering you. I'm not trying to bother
No,
you.
I understand that.
That's the only place. That's the only place I can go is the promenade. And I'm not looking forward to it because I'm going to have to mortgage my house to get over there. Now, is it true? Is this true? Do you know? Once I move out of there, then they have to put a sprinkler system in for the new person. I mean, Rick's got that place down the street, and it's a bar. Am I right? It's a bar. And he's there.
Well, north of Hamilton. Anything off Hamilton Avenue, north of 275?
Not that I know of. We went everywhere. There isn't. This is the only place that's left, and that's why I picked it. Because to be honest with you, I thought about it. Because it's so old, I thought, oh Lord, what all's gonna go wrong? But that's the only choice, and I'm gonna finance put a mortgage on my house to do it because I have to work.
Does anybody else have any other questions? At this time, Ms. Rice, we are not going to rescind that policy. Now, in the future, we may rescind it, may not. It just really, it's not even on the agenda today. So then even the process for that would still take at least a month if we even wanted to make a motion on it tonight. Like I said, the best bet is to continue to contact the people at the promenade to see if they would be interested in leasing the space to you for something. But without maybe a liquor license or.
Go ahead.
Well, Ms. Rice, if you want to leave the podium, we have to have somebody else come up to the podium.
So what you are saying is that she needs to get with whoever owns the promenade and apply to get a place there
And those people are telling her that they want her there, but she can't come there because you guys won't let her there. So that's where we are at right now, trying to figure out. We're trying to understand that. I live in the city of Cincinnati. I come out here because I feel safe out here. I don't party in the city of Cincinnati at all. But I come out here. I lived out here. And I moved out here because of the taxes was crazy. But I still come out here because this is my family and my friends. And I come out here and spend my money out here. And I can't get a clear understanding as to why you all can't let her move her license to another spot out here. Cruise is open. People been shot in the head. I done took care of patients that got shot in the head at Cruise Inn. And y'all ain't closed them down or moved them at all. I am a nurse, a registered nurse. And I had a man get shot in the head out there, and y'all still let Cruise be open.
But we don't have the ability to shut
Oh,
down.
now he wants to talk. Now he wants.
No, I'm going to give you an answer if you'd like it.
Yes, I would.
The answer you've asked for is the city of Forest Park, over the years and in the past, has decided, for whatever reason, and valid reasons, not to allow bars to relocate or locate south of 275 because of the detrimental effect on the community.
Okay.
So that's the rule. That's been in effect for quite a while. And
But it says.
and that's the reason that the promenade is saying come to the city, because they know that
So
you
help me
cannot have a bar in the promenade.
So help me understand this. Is it a new bar or any bar? Because she already has a license, so she's just trying to relocate. It's not a new license. She just want to relocate. She just want to move. Like if I wanted to move from Forest Park Apartments to Ken Road, that's what. So that's what. Just help me understand.
Movement of the liquor licenses is governed by the state of Ohio.
Okay.
They can locate.
Okay, that's
So
what
you
I'm
say
saying.
that
Just
we
help
let-
me
We
understand.
have not let someone operate. The liquor license can't be taken. It's the Ohio State liquor license people who allow bars to operate, even though they maybe should not have allowed them to continue to operate. That's the state liquor board that allows. So you say, how does that other bar stay open? The state won't take their license. That's how they stay open. We don't issue licenses.
Okay, well the state is not trying to take her license.
No, she's trying to relocate to a bar south of 275. That's our law.
We want a restaurant just like Park Place.
Process that you go through.
Yeah, and that's why the
You
process.
need to continue the process.
The promenade, you have to speak with them. They say they want to lease to you. The only thing I could say is that you would pursue a restaurant without a liquor license.
Okay.
Because, I mean, really, it's either that or nothing.
So if she was to get with them without a liquor license, then she got to go through a whole process of spending more money and all that to get a new liquor license.
No, she won't be able to get a liquor license there because it's against the code for the city of Forest Park.
Cracker Barrel just started selling beer.
You're talking about getting a liquor license for a food service?
Yes.
Oh, yes, that's okay.
For a restaurant, you can.
It depends on whether it's a bar. If 50% of the sales,
It does. But it does matter. It does
Our
matter.
ordinance says-
Hold on, I can't hear.
The predominant, a restaurant, most of the money have to come in from food.
Okay.
Nobody's saying that it can't happen. It's just that the bulk of the money has to be food, not liquor, not a bar.
To a restaurant, then you speak
Okay,
to the promenade about being. You speak to the promenade about being a restaurant. Just point of order. Just, man, we have to still keep, decorum. But that's why I'm saying, pursue a restaurant, and then in the future, if that ordinance is ever brought up again, as long as you're a bar, the ordinance is going to be as it stands. If the bulk of your sales are going to come from the food, pursue being a restaurant with the proper owners of the promenade, because we don't own the facility. So you can still enter into a contract to lease with them, But as far as it being solely a bar, we're not rescinding that ordinance at this time.
Okay,
So basically what you're saying is.
Wait, ma'am, if you want to speak,
Okay.
you can switch out. Unless you have something else to say, I'm sorry. I understand. I understand.
Because I'm about to lose my house. So basically what you're saying is, if I come to the city council respectfully and say, hey, I'm opening up a restaurant, but if I have a liquor license, after I open up the restaurant, I can do that?
The state will issue liquor license.
Okay, I'm done.
In Promenade as a restaurant. Will that liquor license that she has be okay, or does she got to do some other, jump through some more hoops
What
and
the
all that
council,
stuff for her liquor license?
That's between her and the state. We don't issue liquor licenses.
Right, okay, we all right then.
If you are
We
entering,
can tell you that if you open, which was the request at the last meeting, go back and look at the tape, which I did. The request was to move your operation to the promenade as a bar, and you were going to add, excuse me, and you were going to add food and change the way it works, but it still would be a bar that had entertainment.
but if you
That
enter
can't
into,
happen because of the ordinance that we have in effect that says as a community, we don't want any new bars. I'm not giving you any advice.
So the word,
yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
that is, we good.
Just
Promenade will follow the zoning of the city of Forest Park.
right.
And they know the law. That's why they referred you to here. And coming up to council, even though that's a good idea to express what you're going to do, has no effect and is not an application for anything. You can come here and talk every week, but until you submit something that says, I want this, here is my business plan, here's what I want to do, it has no effect because you're just standing here talking. So I'm suggesting, and as the mayor suggested, that you go to the promenade, follow the procedure to get to the zoning board of appeals, and see if they will grant that appeal, if there's even a need for an appeal. Because no one's stopping you from opening a restaurant tomorrow. But you'd still have to comply with the zoning laws and the building codes, which, depending on the size, may require a certain amount of improvements to the inside, including, if not exclusively, again, sprinkler systems and
you don't know?
depends on the deal.
Okay,
But the city is saying regardless of where you move, anything south of 275, they will not grant you to use your liquor license. That's all that they are saying.
Yes.
it's okay.
I'm sorry to speak out of turn, but basically what I'm saying is X out the bar, turn it into a full-fledged restaurant if we want the promenade. If we would still want to function as a bar, take it north of 275.
If you want to come to the bar, if you want to.
That's perfect.
Just to keep with for decorum, like I said, since we aren't the promenade owners, we can't give you advice, but that's the proper channels before things, can come over to us. So at this point,
So if she deals with them, do y'all still have
The voice to say no, if she talks to the promenade
it just
Depends on what she's proposing. And I can say
I
that,
understand.
that the city will absolutely enforce that ordinance. Which means that
Yeah.
you have to be a restaurant. And if you're not, then
Oh, no, you're perfectly fine. We appreciate people coming in, but like I said, since we are not the owners of the promenade, that would be you enter into a contract with them. But as it relates to the ordinance, we're, for bars, this side of 275, we're not rescinding that ordinance at this time. Okay?
Is this for us to keep? Well, I don't know. Are you presenting it to us?
Bye, Rita.
No, we can keep it. We can keep it.
If you're
'Cause there's some,
presenting it to us.
yeah, especially there's some Forest Park residents. All right. Are there any other members of the public who have any comment at this time? I know the civil says. Do you have a presentation or? Thank you.
Really think about security and things like that, even as a
Trevina.
restaurant. Okay. Have a good day. Yes, ma'am.
Sally. Every day is an adventure. No one from civil service has anything to add? Communications from the public?
Mr. Mayor, they're from the Charter Committee, and they met earlier this month. And so they're going to submit a report, to council, but it'll be at the next, I'll submit it once they give it to me. Well, I have it, but I just need to submit it.
All right, thank you, Ms. Boyd. Well, that concludes communications from the public. We welcome everyone to come to the public and voice any concerns that they have with council, because it can be a spirited debate. But moving on to item number 5 on the agenda, this is reports from standing committees. So we're going to start with Councilmember Adams.
The judging for the beautification committee went really, really well. We did do that. We got enough volunteers in order to participate. Other than that, I would like to publicly thank the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority for inviting me to their their jazz brunch. I did not publicly thank them for that previously, but they did have a jazz brunch in June, and I want to say thank you for that. Also, too, Hamilton County is still accepting applications for rent, mortgage, and utility assistance. So if people in our area, in our city, are struggling, please go to 513.org, 513relief.org, and please put in an application to get some assistance with your mortgage, rent, and or utilities. Other than that, Mayor, I have no other report.
All right, thank you. And I don't have anything on the work session for you. Do you have any items to add to the next one?
Not at this time, sir.
All right, moving on. Councilmember Clark is not here, so we're going to move on to Councilmember Harrison.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you to the good citizens of Forest Park. I'd like to say happy 246th birthday to the United States of America. I know yesterday was Independence Day, so I'd like to say that, and of course my tie reflects that. I have nothing to report at this time. However, probably later on I would like to recommend business for a business of the month, if not this month, but possibly in the future. Excuse me?
Send the city manager the name for the business.
I'll definitely do that. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
And I don't have any other items for you on the work session. Do you have anything else to add?
No, sir.
Moving on to First Vice Mayor Holt.
I do not have a report tonight, and I don't have anything to add for the work session.
All right, thank you, Vice Mayor. You don't want to, regale us with your tales from Dubai?
No.
Okay. All
Trip
right.
was fine. Awesome.
All right, moving on to second Vice Mayor Dr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do not have a report at this time.
Okay. Do you have any items to add to the work session?
No, I do not.
Okay. All right, and then moving on, last but certainly not least, Councilmember Sylvester.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do not have a report at this time, but I would like to add just a couple of the follow-up items as far as the Aldi property and the Walmart. I know we've got quite a few items on the agenda that we're working through, but if it's something that we can just get an update on before we go into recess, if that's possible. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
And do you have any other items to add? I think that's a good one.
No, sir.
All right. Thank you. And that concludes item number 5, reports from standing committees. Moving on to item number 6, which is the mayor's report. And I do want to echo the sentiments of Councilmember Harrison. It is America's 246th birthday, so I hope everyone had a fun, wonderful, safe holiday. There were some fireworks going off, which is not exactly allowable in our city ordinances, but I did see a lot of people out there celebrating and barbecuing. But this is also a very important year because America is now the same age that slavery had existed in the United States, 246 years. So that just puts things into perspective because slavery was from from the 1600s, from 1619 all the way till 1865. So that was 246 years that it existed here, and now America is just now reaching that age since his birthday began in 1776. I do not have any items. I do not have anything else to add in my report, but I do want to add to a work session discussion, not to politicize this dais, but there was an action by the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade across the nation, and then that put into place the state of Ohio's trigger law for a 6-week abortion ban. So it is my intention to have a discussion at the next work session about council's actions as far as standing against a 6-week ban that was passed by the state legislature. And that concludes my report. If anyone has any questions? All right, hearing none, we're going to move on to item number 7, which is the city manager's report.
Keep it short and sweet, hopefully anyway. We had a great party in the park last week. Tremendous turnout, a couple hundred at least, maybe more. The band was great and had great weather. So the next one is going to be this coming Tuesday, again in the park. It's free admission, and there will be some food trucks there. Hopefully we get a couple extra, and so come support the food trucks, buy some food, spend the evening in the park, and listen to some nice music. That'll be again Tuesday from 7 to 9. The park grounds will open at 6 o'clock, and also along those same lines is the Jazz Fest, which will be, I believe, Saturday, the August 6th. That'll be again a tremendous affair. Look forward to bringing that back. There'll be thousands of people here. We hope to get the biggest crowd ever, and so we'll have more information on that as it gets closer. And we have a Grammy award-winning solo artist, and so it'll be a nice event, nice evening, and we look forward to hosting that event. Finally, the construction has started on Winton Road. Many of you have noticed they're doing the concrete first, and this is going to be basically an all summer 2 or 3 month project where the concrete will be done first, and then we'll repave. So we'll get more information if there's any large closures, but right now they're just doing the concrete work on the edges and in the middle and the median. So keep your eyes out, go slow, and be aware that there are folks working out there, and be safe so that the workers are safe. Other than that, I'll be glad to address any questions.
Yeah, Don, for the road work, what is the exact timeline on that? And then which road is next after Winton?
Well, they're going to do Winton and Kemper is one project, and they're working their way up Winton. And bottom line is that they're all doing them kind of at the same time, but the concrete works first, and then they'll be doing so that it's basically about a 3 month period. So as they close or they get to certain areas, I can let everyone know what the exact schedule is, day to day in terms of week to week, on what streets will be hitting. But it's basically Winton Road all the way down, and then Kemper Road from here to Ken. And so there'll be some improvements through there, and obviously some lane closures once they get down to the paving portion. But it's all summer.
All right, does anybody else have any questions for the city manager? All right, hearing none. Thanks for that, Don. Moving on to item number 8, which is other reports.
Excuse me. We did miss something. We did not excuse the law director.
Oh, actually, we do need to make a motion right now. Okay, I need a motion to excuse our law director. Thought he was gonna be here.
A motion to excuse the law director?
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? All right, hearing none, let it be known by the sound of voting aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes to excuse the law director. So on other reports, we're going to skip over the law director, and we're going to move directly to our clerk of council, Ms. Sally Boyd.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to report the ordinance number 17, 20, and 22-2022, and resolution numbers 23 and 24-2022 were posted as required, and that concludes my report.
All right, thank you for that, Sally. Moving on to item number 9, which is new business. All right, so I need a motion to suspend.
A motion to suspend the rules requiring the reading in full and read resolution numbers 25-2022 through 27-2022 by title only. These resolutions were posted 6 days prior to the meeting.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to suspend?
Adams,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Moore, Sylvester.
Yes.
All right. Motion passes 6-0. So moving on to the first resolution, will the clerk please read that by title only? Resolution.
Resolution number 25-2022, adopting tax budget for 2023 and submitting same to the Hamilton County Auditor.
All right. Is there a motion, Councilmember Sylvester?
I move to adopt resolution number 25-2022.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion?
Where we've heard details in reference to our public hearing. It was presented by our finance director, so based on the information received, I move that we adopt the resolution number 25-2022.
All right. Thank you for that, council member. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Brown,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Moore, Sylvester,
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
All right. Resolution number 25-2022 passes 6-0. Moving on to the next resolution, will the clerk please read that by title only?
Resolution number 26-2022, authorizing the city manager to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Transit Infrastructure Fund program and to execute contracts as required.
All right. Is there a motion, Councilmember Sylvester?
Yes, I motion that we adopt resolution number 26-2022.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion?
This will give support in what was commented by our city manager to support the major road work that's getting ready to take place, and giving it authority to take action in the benefit of the city. So with that, I request that we move to adopt resolution number 26-2022.
All right. Thank you for that, council member. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Harrison,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Moore, Sylvester,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes. All right. Resolution number 26-2022 passes 6-0. And will the clerk please read resolution number 27 by title only?
Resolution number 27-2022, a resolution amending resolution number 15-2022.
Oh, okay. Yeah, is there a motion, Council, or First Vice Mayor Holt?
I make a motion to adopt resolution number 27-2022.
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion?
It's just that council previously adopted resolution number 15-2022, establishing a community reinvestment area, and it's necessary to amend a resolution number to 15-20-22 2022 to fix the scrivener's error and to clarify the residential use nature of single-family development within the community reinvestment areas. And with that, I would urge adoptions of resolution number 27-2022.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Holt. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Holt,
Yes.
Moore. Yes. Sylvester,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
All right. Motion passes 6-0. Resolution number 27-2022 passes. All right, so then I need a motion to appoint Mr. Terrence Harrison from Forest Park to the Community Programming Board.
I can,
You want to make the motion?
Yeah.
All right.
I would like to make a motion to appoint Mr. Terrence Harrison from Forest Park to the Community Programming Board, Regional Council of Government, and CPB Holdings, Inc., and the Inc. Board for the term expiring March 31st, 2025.
Second.
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion?
None.
All right, hearing none. Will the clerk please? I'm sorry.
Can I make a comment?
Yeah, really quick. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to thank Mr. Councilmember Harrison for stepping up and taking on additional responsibilities. Every cycle, we are appointed positions by our mayor, and this position became available. And so we just want to thank you for stepping up and taking on the responsibility and being accountable to our citizens and accountable to our community partners. Thank you.
Thank you for those kind words, Dr. Moore.
All right, will the clerk please call the roll on the motion?
And this can be a voice
It can be
vote.
a voice vote. All right, well, all those in favor, let it be known by the sound of voting aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. And then it looks like we do not have any other items on the agenda, so is there any other business to come before the body? Is there any other business to come before the body? Is there any other business to come before the body? Hearing none, this council meeting is adjourned.